Hello everyone and welcome to another Q&A, and let me start by pointing your attention to my awesome shirt. Look at my shirt. This is the Sector Z shirt from Fangamer. Mal and I just recently, we each got one actually, and I'm wearing it today and it's really sweet. It's a cool shirt. I know like we sell shirts, and you should buy shirts, buy our shirts, buy all of them. But also Fangamer sells shirts and they're really sweet and I like their designs. And also we're friends with like
half the staff.
More than that, man, like almost everyone. Anyway, they make good stuff. But we've got questions to answer from you guys, so let's get to it. Mal?
Our first question, what was your first reaction to meeting Alex, Dan, and Taylor from ThePlatinumBeast?
We can actually both answer this because I met them, but then also Mal has had first interactions with them. I first met Alex because I talked to him months ahead of time. We knew we were going to room together. My first interaction with him, besides online, like meeting him in real life, was like he was very stern, like super serious.
Serious Alex.
Like, hello? And shook my hand and I was like, hey, what's up? And he was probably in some kind of suit or suit-esque thing, because that's what he always wore. And he loosened up pretty quick, but I'd say it probably took him like an entire week to really feel pretty comfortable with me. But it took a long time before he felt comfortable with me, understanding that I wasn't his brother. Like, and I say that just because like he got loosened up, but in the same sense of like you know, oh, I interact with my brother and I punch him, and like it took a long time for me to explain to Alex like, please don't hit me, because he hit me a lot, and then he'd be like, I'm sorry, I just thought you were my brother. So as far as Dan lived 2 doors down, and Dan would come over and he always needed, and not help with his projects, but like he wanted feedback on his projects and stuff, and also he hated his roommates and he wanted to hang out with us instead, and that's how we got to know him. And then Taylor, Taylor was our other roommate's friend, Ian, and Ian brought him over and we hung out, and that's how we got to meet Taylor. And I mean, Taylor's always been very quiet, but back in the day, back in freshman year, my first interactions with him was watching him play as Link on Smash Brothers. So, and then I was kind of like, hey, so you're like a friend of Ian? And he was like, yeah. And then eventually Ian was never there, but Taylor kept coming over, so that's how our friendship formed. How did you get to meet everyone? I mean, in person, the first time I went to visit you in Savannah for spring break, I was there twice. That's right. Alex had to pick me up from the school. I mean, that was really our first interaction, and he picked me up from that elementary school I worked at for the day, and he was just like, how was your day? Because he was driving a stick shift. He was all business. I was trying to keep conversation. I was like, oh, I drive a stick shift too. I was like, you like it? And he was like, yes. And I mean, I knew Alex from talking on Skype with you, so I knew he wasn't serious all the time. Yeah, he's like that though. He's incredibly stoic. But once you get to know him, it's better. Dan was always just like, hey, how you doing? Dan's always super friendly, so. Taylor was Taylor. Taylor is quiet, so I guess that probably didn't change too much. But yeah. All right. Next one. Okay, you're in Mal's in charge of questions, apparently. Any car accidents or traffic tickets? From XCarnorrisX. None, actually. Well, I've had parking tickets, but I think everyone's had parking tickets. I've had 1 parking ticket, and that's it. I've had 2? I think I've had 2. One of them I got thrown out, because if you guys have seen the vlog day, if you haven't, you gotta see it, because when I parked, they had not put a sign there. Like, I was allowed to park there, and then whenever I went into a building for 2 hours, when I came back, they were installing the sign that said that it was a no parking sign, and they'd already ticketed me. And I called them and I was like, well, what? And they're like, oh, silly us. Trying to get that money. But see, what stinking jerks would do such a thing? And then the other time, I had left my car in a no parking zone for like 4 days. I'm surprised you weren't towed. Yeah, me too. Ironically, when I went out to check my car, I had gotten the ticket like 10 minutes before I got there. And I had left it there for like 4 days. Anyway, but otherwise, no... I backed into one thing once. Oh.
It was a bike rack, and it wasn't even one of those normal bike racks.
Yeah, yeah.
And it left a mark this big for the pole on my back bumper, and that was it.
Yeah, sorry. We're demoting your driving privileges. I'm gonna have to drive forever.
I was 17.
Okay. I was
going like 2 miles an hour backing up.
I've been very fortunate that I haven't been in any accidents. I feel like I'm a really, really good driver. Like, of everyone I know in the world, I feel like I'm the best driver, which might be tooting my own horn a little too much, but like, I know people that suck at driving. There's some people that are good drivers. I'd say that up there in driving skills would be Alex and Emil. They're both incredibly good drivers, and I would trust them with my life, getting into the car with them. But
the closest I've ever had was when my tire blew up. And that wasn't my fault.
Yeah, that was, I remember that. We were going down the road, we were going like 70 or 80 miles an hour. Mal was driving and her tire exploded, and I'm like, okay, just calmly, let's get off onto this. And she's like, ah, I'm gonna die. I'm like, it's okay, just calmly, you need to merge over to the right. She's like, we're gonna die. I'm like, no, you need to turn over to the right. I'm looking for the cars, there's no car, we're gonna die. I tend to keep calm in situations like that.
It was scary.
It was a little frightening. I was a little scared, but I didn't say it to make you feel better. Anyway, next question.
When you monetize a video, do you have a say in what ads appear? From Zachary Weisenhorn.
No. We have a say in, if we want to allow, adult ads in the videos, and the adult ads are for tobacco and alcohol. And the thing is, by default, they're on. Like, it's not something we turn on, it's something we have to turn off. And I don't know. In fact, I don't think I can even control that on Stephen Plays. I think that's like a network issued thing that I can't even control. And on Stephen Plays, I've never turned it off, because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. As far as what ads appear, they're targeted based on metadata. So if you tag your videos correctly, they should have appropriate ads. Like, sometimes people will be watching a video about Jones Soda, and they'll get a Jones Soda ad, and they'll be like, oh, that's awesome. Or there'll be pizza or cat, yeah. And they'll be like, oh, that was neat that it was so ironic that this showed up. And it's not. It's because I tagged it with the correct stuff, and the people who put their ad into the system say, match this with these tags, and that's why it appears. So that's how that works. Anyway.
Next one. Have you ever played the lottery? From Joe Bob 2311.
Nope.
I've gotten scratch-off cards from, like, my aunts for my birthday, but I've never gone out and bought my own.
If I ever bought them, I would feel bad. Like, knowing what the odds are, I would literally feel like I was just inserting money into a paper shredder. Like, I feel like I would be okay with spending a very small amount of money. Like, if we went to, like, Las Vegas or something, and it was like, when in Rome, that's what you're supposed to do, then I would probably do it. Just
like, here's X amount, when you lose it, you're done. Like that.
Yes, and I would have no problem setting that limit, but it would be such a small amount of money, because the odds are so stacked against you.
Like $25.
And if I won something, I would just be done. I'd be like, oh my god, I won money in Vegas. I'm done. If I had come out in the positive, I'd be like, nope, done, nope,
time to go home.
Yeah, we're going home. We're going to a show. That's it. No more.
Next question says, having been apart for so many years, what's the best part of finally being together? From Raymond Castro.
What do you think the best part is? Because I have an answer in mind that's kind of sweet. I've been thinking about
getting a kiss on my way out the door.
Oh, yours is sweeter than mine. Well, the biggest thing, obviously, is...
I have another.
What?
I have another.
Have another what?
I have another thing.
Oh, well, you do yours again. Or do you want me to do mine?
No, like, I'm driving, like, getting the whole hands while we drive.
Okay, why are all of yours sweet? Mine are a little less sweet.
Okay.
Well, actually, my main one is really sweet.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, well, first off, physical interaction, period. I mean, when you are in a long-distance relationship, you don't got no physical interaction. And I'm not just talking about LOL sexy times, even though, I mean, that's part of it. But also, there's other issues, like, if you're on Skype, If you're on Skype, you're looking at someone, or FaceTime or whatever, and you have a camera lens that you're looking into so they can see that you're looking at them. You also have a screen. It is impossible to look into someone else's eyes.
This is true.
That's like, don't cry. But it's a huge thing. Like, when you're in a long distance relationship, and that's like one of the biggest things for me when we were in it, like, you can't look into the other person's eyes. It's one of those things, like, you have to take turns. You know, you look into the camera lens, and they can look at the screen, and they feel like they're being looked at, and then they can look in the camera lens, and you look at the screen, and you feel like they're looking at you, but like, you can't look at them in the eye. And like, that is like the most basic human interaction that can connect you with someone, and you can't do it. So when you are finally able to be physically in the same room with someone, and you can walk up to them and you can say, I love you, and look them in the eye while doing it, and they can look back, it's kind of an earth-shattering moment.
That was very sweet.
That was a pretty good answer.
That was a good answer.
Okay. But also LOL sexy times. But the other one is good too. Anyway, go ahead.
Next question. Have your personalities changed much in the last 10 years or so? From Connor Seth.
No.
I think mine has.
How so?
Just like with my level of patience and...
You feel like you're a more patient person.
Yeah, or maybe less in some aspects.
Well, you're always changing as a person, but in general, I mean, if you were to ask the people that know me really well now, and who knew me really well 10 years ago, how I've changed, they'd be like, pretty much the same. Even the way I look, like, I haven't changed much at all.
You stopped spiking your hair.
I did stop spiking my hair, out of laziness, because it took too long to do, and also I hated the feeling of it, man. The crusty hair, ugh, screw it, no.
It looks so cute, though.
Well, I'm past the cute phase, so I'm done. Sorry. Anyway.
Next question?
Sure.
Can you dunk a basketball from blrasmu?
No. Ever.
No, I can't.
I mean, like, the official NBA height requirements for the goals, I think, is 10 feet. I've never been able to do that, ever. I mean, 10 feet's way up there, man. I mean, I'm 6'6", and my arm is however long, so I have a reach of like what, like 7.5?
Yeah, 7.5.
7.5 or 8 feet, and that's an extra like 2 feet to get to the rim, and then you have to have the extra space to get the ball up and over the rim and into the goal. I've never been able to do it. Now in middle school, we had like the 8-foot goals. I could dunk those. I could jump up and I was like White Shack. So it was, but it was fun. I enjoyed doing that. But
because you were the only one who could.
Yeah, well, actually, no. I've never been able to jump that high. I mean, there is a film, White Men Can't Jump, and that film is incredibly accurate. And other people in my class who were shorter than me could jump higher than me. So, I had the leg power, I don't know. If I practiced, I probably could have done it. I just didn't.
Speaking of jumping, I have a quick little story.
Yeah.
Because I can't really add much to this. My projector screen at school is like just out of my reach, just standing there by like this much. Mm-hmm. And when I reach for it and I don't jump, my students are like, haha, why didn't you tie a string to it? But then I can jump and grab it, and I never miss when I do that. Like, I can always just grab it and pull, and the thing's, you know, this big, the handle, and they're always really impressed. And they're like, oh, Miss George got game. And I'm like, yeah, you better see me.
That's funny. Yeah, I was never super athletic in the first place. I actually enjoyed basketball. Like, I really did, but like I don't know. I was encouraged to do it, but I never got along well with, like, I was on the rec center team for a while, and like I didn't have very good, I don't know, teamwork shit. Okay, actually, everyone on the rec center team, whenever I was with them, they were ball hogs. That's what it came down to. No one would pass me the ball, no one would give me a chance, and I ended up, that kind of affected me enjoying basketball.
I'm sorry.
Had it been different, crap, I could be a basketball player right now.
Maybe.
Probably not, because I enjoyed playing video games too much, but anyway, that's my story. Go ahead.
Next question?
Yeah.
What was your prom like? From Conical Conch 69.
What was your prom like?
pretty average because I was at public school.
Well, did you have 2 proms? Did you have one junior and senior year or just senior? Because I thought
our prom was a junior prom, so court was made up of junior class members, and seniors could go. And if you were a freshman or sophomore, you had to be invited.
Okay. Neat. So if you're a freshman, sophomore, you didn't have any older friends. You
didn't get to go.
You're just SOL.
But we did have after prom, which was school-sponsored, alcohol and drug-free. And that was actually the best part, because one year they took us to the YMCA and we got to like go swimming and play racquetball and go in the gymnastics area and jump on the trampolines, and they gave us pizza and prizes, and
wow.
they had karaoke and everything. Another year we went bowling, like as a big class thing.
I had we have prom for junior and prom for senior at my school, and it prom. I went to a private school, and during my junior and senior years, we had a very, 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 very strict principal who was against everything from electric guitars and electrical music, like electrical instruments, to dancing. So you can imagine how thrilling our prom was. There was no music and there was no dancing. It was a banquet. It was a banquet, and we all went and we all had a very nice dinner and we sat. The junior one was not of any interest for anything. After that, we all went bowling, which was kind of fun. My senior one has a very interesting story, which I probably have shared before because I'm an old man and I can't remember what I've said. But if not, you may enjoy this. When I was in senior year...
Can you throw up this picture?
Yeah, I'll throw up a picture here. When I was in senior year, that is the girl I took to the prom. Her name is Natalie. She's actually now she's married, has been married for a few years, I think, and she's actually in like a really hardcore rock band in the area. Anyway, I went to this banquet, the prom, and it was getting near the end of the night, and I had to poop. And you know it's going to be a good story when I talk about poop. I had to poop really, really bad. I had felt kind of sick that day anyway, and like it was going to be one of those, oh God, I'm going to destroy a toilet. Everything is going to go to pot, literally, and things are really, really, you know, bad. It just so happens that at the same time that I was doing this, the junior class, which was in charge of doing superlatives and, what's the thing when you're the best of the... What,
superlatives?
No, that I did. The king and queen of...
Oh, court.
King and queen of court, or whatever.
They have court, and then people are nominated to be in court, and then they vote on whoever in court gets to be king and queen.
Okay, I don't know what all...
homecoming court and prom court.
Okay, we called it something different, but essentially it was like the guy and girl we liked best out of the senior class, as voted by juniors.
So basically everyone was on court.
Yes, that. We had a different thing for it. Anyway, they were saying, you know, we're going to be announcing our thing, and my buddy George Henry was sitting next to me, and I was like, dude, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm just like sweating bullets. I'm gonna die. And he's like, you should wait, man. What if you're prom king? And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna be prom king. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why would I be prom king? And he's like, oh no, man, maybe you should just stick around, you know? And I was like, no, I gotta go. So I started to get up because I was going to crap my pants. As I stood up, they're like, and Stephen George is the prom king! And I'm like, what the balls, man? And the only person in the room that got it was George Henry, because I had just told him that I was gonna like poop myself and I had to get out of there. And they're like, Stephen, come on up and say a little speech. And I'm thinking, oh my God. So I go up to the front.
They hand you a scepter.
They hand me a scepter, and I'm standing up there like thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And George Henry, he is crying. There is tears everywhere, and he's like dying, and he's the only person in the room that gets it. And they're like, would you like to say anything? I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And then they're like, all right. And then they called up the girl, and they took a picture, and like, I ran. I had to get out of there. And I did destroy that toilet, and I still have the scepter in my parents' house today.
It's a little bent.
It's a little bit, well, maybe I ran into the toilet with it, like ran into the bathroom, and I don't know why it's bent, but that's my prom story.
Next question, any history with skateboarding from Vlorplash112?
Well, first off, do you have any history of skateboarding?
No.
Have you ever stood on a skateboard?
Tried to.
Well, anytime anyone has ever stood on a skateboard for the first time, it was a tried too. It was never a, oh, I successfully got on a skateboard.
I was surprised how like wobbly it was, not like from side to side.
Okay.
Like this
You
way.
mean, oh, you mean this? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how do you think you steer?
I don't know. I've never skateboarded
Yeah,
before.
well, they wobble so you can steer, and if it's a really sharp turn, you can pull the tail of the board up and keep going. Anyway, quick anecdote. My dad told me once that this was many years ago, before I even existed. He said that there was a skateboard in a Kmart on the floor, and he said he remembered seeing it and thinking, huh, I'm gonna try that. And he stood on it, and like he tried to stand on it, and like immediately went boom. And he said that was it. So that's his skateboarding story. Whenever I was in middle school, in 6th and 7th grade, skateboarding was huge. Every single person in my class loved the Tony Hawk games. Every single person in my class had a collection of tech decks, and it was just kind of like a rite of passage, coming of age thing. Everyone skateboarded. And I didn't really have any interest in it, but because every single person was doing it, and that was where the group activities were heading, I needed to learn how to skateboard. So I was really into World Industries because I really like the characters. I have like tons of middle school drawings of them, so I should show them at some point on the vlog. And they're all really stupid. I got a skateboard and I started to learn how to skate, and I could ollie, and I want to say I could kickflip, but I don't actually think I could. If I ever told that on the vlog, I think I lied. If I probably knew how to do it and like
never landed it.
And if I did, it wasn't like a thing I could do on demand. It was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I fell down enough that it was one of those things that after the phase passed, I left that school, moved on into 8th grade, and people were over that. I was over that. And I was like, I'm done. I fell down enough. You know, some of my friends got really hurt, broke bones, and it's like, no, good. I'm past that. But otherwise, I still love the Tony Hawk games. I'm a little too old for skateboarding now. Well, I don't want to say I'm too old for skateboarding. I, Stephen George, am too old for skateboarding. I want nothing to do with it because I don't want to get hurt. But there's other people that are still my age that are skateboarding. Or people older than me. Friggin' Rodney Mullen. You want to be impressed by friggin' skateboarding? If you're like, oh, I don't really like skateboarding, just go online and watch Rodney Mullen videos all day. I could do that. Also, some skateboard. Yes, I have. I love the guy. He's really good. Anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna ramble a lot here.
Last question?
Sure.
Soft or hard cookies from eXaiix?
eXaiix, whatever. Soft.
Soft.
You weirdos with your hard cookies. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you bite into a cookie?
Okay, some cookies should be hard.
Which cookies?
Like shortbread.
No.
Like cookies you dunk in tea. Like those should be hard. Like a biscotti.
Okay. Tea cookies. But the thing, okay, whoa. But think about this. The end result of those cookies
is soft cookies.
It's being soft cookies. So if you have a hard cookie that is not being dunked in something to make soft, it's not a hard cookie.
True.
It's a wrong cookie. Because it's wrong. It should be soft. Sorry. If you guys have an example of a cookie that is hard and should be hard, and you eat it hard because it's a benefit in some way to the cookie, leave it below. And I will check it out, and I may or may not agree with you next month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun with our recounting of wild stories. If you have a question that you'd like to ask us, ask it below. Also, in the description, there's a list of every question we've ever been asked. If you want to find an answer or see if we've answered it before, you can check that out. It'll help you decide if your question is worth asking or worth asking again. We don't mind you asking the same questions again as long as a reasonable amount of time has passed between them. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next month for another Q&A.